Good evening, everybody. My name is Ed, and welcome to my 9th Plushie review. Tonight, I will be reviewing Wile E. Coyote. Original choice, isn't it? And, right, okay, first things first. I acquired him 6 days ago when I was at work at the British Heart Foundation that day. Um, well, a few days beforehand, for that matter, I found him in a box full of other plushies, and and uh, and so I put him aside for the next time I was working at the place, which was a few days later, and so I just bought him for 99 pence, bearing in mind, of course, that he is second-hand. And without further ado, let's start review. Let's start. Hey, let's start with the face. As you can see, the face does represent his animated counterpart very, very well, and especially especially such features as the the eyes, nose, muzzle, cheeks, to name just a few, and unlike the other plushies I reviewed, the eyes have been produced by a very special stitching. Um, Without further ado, sorry, and to keep the review going, and not to mention the eyebrow, it looks as if, and I'm pretty sure it's meant to be that way, but more to the point, it looks as if he has, well, just one eyebrow. As you, well, may well imagine. And without further ado, he has the ears, again, very much like his animated counterparts, despite the fact that they're not rigid, so as you can see, they just flop over. And as we move on to the rest of the body, as you can see, his torso is very well shaped, like his animated counterpart as well. And I think I could say the same for his arms and hands. They very much resemble his animated counterpart. And now onto the legs and feet. Now, argue with me if you want, but the feet seem. Argue with me if you want, but feet seem rather large in comparison to the thickness of his legs. Well, I mean, well, forgive me for saying that, but I haven't. But it has been so long since I've seen any of the Wile E. Coyote cartoons. But again, argue with me if you want, but I just don't think that the feet are, well, maybe they are the right shape, let alone the proportions. And the tail, I can see the proportions match the animated counterpart well, but even if the shape is a little bit funny, and oh, pardon me, just a minute. And there's not a lot else I could say really. Apart from looking at this label, I suppose um, I suppose I don't know if this range has is still in is still in produ- is still in production, or it has ceased production altogether. But I can tell by the label here, once upon a time, that Warner Brothers would have produced this plushie in conjunction with Boots, and uh, and um, and I know I haven't much else to say about him, but marks out of 10, I would probably marks out of 10. I'd say I'd give him a 7, basically because he may not be perfect, but he does represent his animated counterpart very, very well. And so it's good night and God bless you all. God bless you all.